Hello! Today is September 21st. We're on pages 44 and 45. It's time for the book club. And our book this month is called The Diary of a Bookseller.
又到了我们好书俱乐部的单元咯。今天要为各位介绍什么好书呢？好，我们今天要介绍的是二手书店店员日记。好，这是 The Diary of a Bookseller.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of books that say The Diary of the blah, blah, blah. This is a pretty common English title. You probably know The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And it's some 6th grade kid named Greg. He's kind of terrible, honestly, but in a funny way. So you know this kind of style of a book, but this is an actual diary from an actual bookseller.Yeah,
没错，可能各位听过老师刚刚讲的是训咖日记，对不对？你会常常看到这个英文的书名是 The Diary of Something， 好，可以是 Bridget Jones， 或者是像是Wimpy Kid， 好，那这些东西都会有。但是这边呢，我们讲的 The Diary of a Bookseller， 它是真的日记。而且呢，也是真的是 bookseller， 就是那个书店的这个店员，他事实上是老板啦。好，我们今天会好好的介绍这个内容。
All right, let's hear our story, and when we come back, we're going to start paragraph 1.
The Diary of a Bookseller. The Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Bithell is a series of diary entries about the author's daily life as a bookseller in Wigton, Scotland. The name of Sean's bookstore is The Bookshop. It is the largest second-hand bookstore in Scotland and contains roughly 100,000 books. In the diary, Sean describes what it is like to run a large bookstore. He even includes details about his daily sales and profits, which can vary greatly from day to day. Sean also talks about what his staff and customers are like. Some of them are quite interesting. One of his staff members likes to make fun of him on the bookstore's social media page. Another staff member is from the United States and came to Wigton to escape the busy life she had in California. Many of the store's customers are tourists from different parts of the world. Some visit the store to look for interesting books, and some come to find good prices on used books. There are also people who come to the store with bags of books that they wish to sell.
Okay, friends, let's look at our subtitle today, A Quiet Life in Wigtown, Scotland. What a nice little subtitle, A Quiet Life. It doesn't feel too busy. It feels nice and slow. Wigtown, Scotland sounds very beautiful and quiet. It seems like a nice, relaxing life.
没错，所以它这边的话，这个副标题你看到 A Quiet Life， 一听起来就觉得好像非常非常恬静安详的感觉，对不对 ？In Wigtown, Scotland， 它是在苏格兰的威格敦 Wigtown 这个地方。
Do you need to live in a big city or do you need a quiet life? I mean, we're here in Taipei.
Yeah, I prefer a big city because I can live in the country for maybe 2 days, 3 days, but not for a long time. 不然好无聊哦。
But it's so funny because you and I are like we enjoy our quiet private time, right?
That's true.
I live in a very quiet place, but I like being close to a big city. I like it. So, all right, there you go. That's pretty special. So before we begin our story, let me just say we're going to talk about books today and a bookseller. So do you like a real book or do you like to read books on an e-reader?
我自己比较喜欢，以前的时候我喜欢看书，因为书的那种翻的手感比较属于自己。但是后来我家书越来越多的时候，我开始喜欢看 e-books， 好，因为变成是说大家不用占实体的这个位置嘛，然后陆续的很多书啊，如果说我没有在看的，我会把它清掉，把家里的空间释放出来。因为我之前看那个 Marie Kondo， 啊，还有很多人都是家里书很多，但是都没有在看。
Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with this. But I don't like e-readers either. It's kind of weird because I don't really feel comfortable reading books on e-readers. I read a lot on my computer. I do all of my work here for Enjoy English School on my computer. But man, I don't like reading books on e-readers. But I also don't want the books on my house. So honestly, I use the library a lot more than I used to. Just because I don't have to keep the book here. And I don't like e-readers.
所以这是个最好的方法，就干脆到图书馆去看。一来的话，你不用去收纳那些书；二来的话，你还是可以享有看书的那种比较亲近，然后觉得感觉上是很舒服的感觉。
Okay, tell us down in the comments. Are you an e-reader user or do you like those books? Tell us in those comments. All right, let's begin. The Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Bythell is a series of diary entries about the author's daily life as a bookseller in Wigtown, Scotland.
好，这句话很长哦，我们一一来看哦。他说 The Diary of a Bookseller， 你有没有注意到它是斜体字，就代表这是书的名字 ，OK？ 好，我们就讲到二手书店店员日记这本书呢 ，by Sean Bythell， 好，就是这个我们作者的名字 Sean Bythell。Sean 这个字它的拼法非常非常多哦。如果你看到的是 SHAUN 的话，多半是那种苏格兰式的拼法，有的时候你会看到 SHAWN 也有。但如果说是英文的话，你常常会看到 SEAN， 来就像 Sean Connery 史恩康纳莱那个 Sean， 他那个念法的话 SEAN 不念 Sheen， 它是念 Sean， 好，一样都是这样的名字，有不同的拼法。他说呢，这个 Sean Bythell 他所写的这个二手书店店员日记呢 ，is a series of diary entries， 这个 entry 的意思多半是讲到书的那种条目哦，尤其是在图书馆里面，你常常会看到这个 entry 是它有不同的书目可以让你去查找的这个 entries about the author's daily life as a bookseller in Wigtown, Scotland。也就是说，他呢所记录的是作者在 Wigtown, Scotland 这个地方，然后担任这个店员，好，就是他自己的书店哦，他就卖书的这样的一些小小的记录心得。
The name of Sean's bookstore is The Book Shop.
他告诉你说，他的书店的名称呢 ，The name of Sean's bookstore is The Book Shop. 好，就是叫书店。OK， 又没有什么创意啊，就是书店。
Yeah, there's no mystery, and maybe that's good. Sometimes you don't know, like. What would you call your bookstore?
I don't know. 我要想直接想个好名字。
Yeah. We need a good name here, right?
Right.
Okay, so be careful of the word bookshop. This place is an old bookstore. We'll talk about that a little later. And sometimes when you travel to America or Canada or England, and they want you to feel like, wow, 很久以前的感觉. They want you to feel like it's from a very long time ago. Shop 有一个特别的拼法. They'll spell it S-H-O-P-E-E. And, well, you all know that APP. How do you say S-H-O-P-E-E? You'll say shoppy. Don't say that. It's just shop, okay? So if they call it the book shop, 那个后面有 P-E-E, just shop. It's just an old spelling. Don't say shoppy. The app is called Shopee, but not in America or Canada or England. It sounds really weird when you say that. Okay?
没错。好，如果说今天你有机会在美国或者是甚至去苏格兰，你看到这种书店这个 shop 这个字居然后面多两个 ee 的话，他讲的不是手机的这个虾皮购物哦，但是他念的时候也是念 shop， 他只是加了那个 ee 是古代的那种拼法，让你觉得有一种中世纪的感觉，很古老的感觉，但是他念法还是一样念 shop。
Shopee. It would be really funny. Something like that. All right, let's continue. It is the largest secondhand bookstore in Scotland and contains roughly 100,000 books.
好，还告诉你说 ，It is the largest secondhand bookstore. 它呢是这个最大的secondhand bookstore， 就是二手书店。In Scotland， 在那个苏格兰是最大的 ，and contains roughly 100,000 books。它呢差不多的这个藏书有10万本这么多，真的很大。
That's a really big bookstore, especially for it's not an online bookstore. This is just a store, right?
Yeah.
So how do we say this number? Remember in English, 每三个数字 we're going to add a comma, and you want to read the commas. So 看最前面的三个数字，然后逗号，三个数字逗号。So this number 100, comma 100 is 100, 然后 1,000. Johnson, don't start saying like 10, 0, 1,000, 1. It's counting in English and Chinese is tricky. Just remember, 三个数字, 三个数字, 三个数字. Don't count more than that. All right. So Be careful of the word secondhand. Sometimes someone will say, I heard something secondhand. And this means it's gossip. It's not from a person. 这个他们说闲话. So you're hearing something, maybe it's not 100% true. Be careful when you hear something secondhand.
没错，所以 second hand 这边它指的是二手书局，但事实上，你如果提到说 I heard something second hand， 就是听到人在说闲话，不是第一手的资料，而听到闲言闲语的感觉，也可以用 second hand。
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Sorry. All right. Our next sentence begins, in the diary, Sean describes what it is like to run a large bookstore.
好，在这个书里面呢 ，in the diary, Sean describes what it is like to run a large bookstore. 这个地方 run 要特别小心。run 的话，我们常说 run, Forrest, run， 不是那个 run， 不是快跑的 run。这个 run 是经营的意思 ，manage。或者在这个地方，他讲说，他呢就写到说，如何经营书店的一些种种细节。What it is like to do something， 就是做后面这件事情感觉怎么样，或是有一些细节的地方。
Write this down, just like Anthony said, run or manage. M-A-N-A-G-E. Now, 不一定, you own the bookstore. Now, we'll learn that Sean Bythal actually owns this bookstore, but when you run or manage something, maybe another person owns it.
没错。
Let's continue. He even includes details about his daily sales and profits, which can vary greatly from day to day.
好，我们在这边的话看到他下面这句话，他说 He even includes details， 好，他甚至还包含一些细节 about his daily sales and profits。他真的每一篇哦，他后面告诉你说今天来了几个客人啊，赚了多少钱啊，那个营业额是多少，他就告诉你说 his daily sales 这个地方加了 s 指的是营业额，他到底说今天这个钱赚进来多少，然后 and profits 它的利润是多少，把这些东西都记录下来。逗号后面讲说 which can vary greatly from day to day， 意思就是说它这个里面的内容也好啊，或者像它的这个营业额啊记录的这些东西呢，它的记录的内容，它每一天可能是天差地远的。
That's right. Underline vary greatly and write change a lot. And with that, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we have our next paragraph. All right, friends, we're back with our story. We're on pages 44 and 45. It's the book club, and we're talking about the diary of a bookseller. I read a little bit of this book, and it's quite funny and quite interesting. He's a good writer, and he talked about one day how things can vary greatly. They can change a lot. And he said one day his door only opened 3 times. And the first time was the mailman. The second time was his father. And then the third time, the wind blew the door open. That was it. No customers.
OK， 他就有的时候呢，老师刚刚提到说，他在那个书里面曾经有一段，他提到说，我今天这个门呢，我们店里的门只开了3次，第一次是邮差，第二次我爸，第三次门是被风吹开的，没有半个客人上门，哇，听起来好惨哦。
And he uses very few words. You can feel, 因为他句子都很短, you can feel he feels very disappointed. 很失望的感觉, but that's business, right?
Right.
All right, let's continue here. Sean also talks about what his staff and customers are like. Oh, goody.
哎 ，OK， 这一段我觉得很有意思哦。他就告诉你说 ，Sean 这个作者呢，他也会提到他的这个工作，他的员工，因为他老板嘛，他31岁的时候就买了这个书店，接手了这个书店，然后到后来他的员工啦，还有他的这来的店里的这个客人呐，到底是什么样的样貌
？So staff is an uncountable noun. It just means the people who work there, the workers. It's uncountable. Let's continue. Some of them are quite interesting.
不过它里面呢，有些人可能是他员工啦，或者这些来的店里的客人，很有意思哦。
Yes, just like you hear from Anthony, our article is being very polite. Honestly, Sean he's not nice to a lot of his customers. He's not nice to them. It's kind of funny, but maybe I would be nervous about going into his store. Like, this man's going to make fun of me.
可以想象一下吗？其实很好玩，就是他其实讲的他很有趣，这个 interesting， 尤其在英国人讲出 interesting 的时候，多半他背后的意涵就是还蛮微妙的，很有意思呢，就是很怪的意思。有些怪人会来啦，其实这个意思这样你就听懂了。
Let's continue here. One of his staff members likes to make fun of him on the bookstore's social media page.
好，所以在这边话就告诉你说了 ，one of his staff members。我们刚刚在上两句的时候曾经看到这个 staff， 对不对 ？staff 的话是一个集合名词，它不可数。但如果你真的要数一个人的话，后面得要加一个字叫做 member。所以在这边这句话他说 ，one of his staff members， 他其中一个员工呢 likes to make fun of him， 好，很喜欢去嘲笑他。哎，你嘲笑老板不要命了吗？哎，他告诉你说 on the bookstore's social media page， 这个 social media page， 我们知道 social media 是社群软体嘛，很像是在可能像脸书啦、IG 的那个小编哦，他那个网页就是他们的官网，好，官网上面去嘲笑他的老板说啊，老板今天疯了，好，所以全馆8折这样的感觉 ，make fun of him，make fun of 就是去嘲笑的意思。那 social media 当然指的就是他们的社群媒体。
I think what we will learn in this sentence and what we learn later is that Sean knows he needs to be special in some way. He's just another bookshop in a small town far away from most people. So in some ways, he needs to be special. And maybe that means having a funny social media page or doing something unique to stand out. And I think that's kind of what he tries to do.
老师刚刚讲这个 stand out 就是很突出，让人一看就看得到。所以想象一下，他们所在的这个位置其实并不是非常都市，还蛮偏僻的哦。那如果能让大家开始注意到会远道而来的话，那势必要有一些厉害的小编去讲一些好玩的事情，大家觉得说，哎，会有兴趣想要来。如果你就做得很平淡无奇的话，那大家就没有兴趣看。所以他自己本身也是非常非常独特的个性哦。所以在这边的话，老师就提到说，他必须要做一些这样的事。
Let's continue here. Another staff member is from the United States and came to Wigtown to escape the busy life she had in California.
好，他就讲到另外一位女性的员工呢 ，Another staff member is from the United States， 她是从美国来的 ，and came to Wigtown， 来到这个小地方，好 Wigtown， 为什么呢 ？To escape the busy life she had in California， 因为她想要逃离当初在加州那种非常忙碌的生活，所以她跑到这个很平静的 a quiet place，a quiet life in Wigtown。所以在这边的话，你会看到说，哦，原来是躲避那种 hustle and bustle of the city， 然后跑过来这个地方的。
So be careful. Sometimes I see my students say something. They're like, the staff member is from American. And that's wrong because American, N the J way, that means it's an adjective here. So she is from, we need to say the country. So I am from America. I am American. Anthony is from Taiwan. He's Taiwanese.
没错，所以要特别小心一下 America。好，是地方 ，American 的话是美国的或是美国人，所以在这边要特别小心说 from America。但如果你要讲美国另外一个名字的话，是 the United States， 那个 the 一定要加上去。
Before we go to break, there was something I wanted to say, but we need to look at the top of this paragraph. I forgot to say it. So Sean also talks about what his staff and customers are like. Some of them are quite interesting. 这个 quite just really means very. I've started to tell my students, be careful of the word very. They use very verb all the time, and it's wrong. We don't say very verb. I very like blah, blah, blah. Now, quite just means like pretty, sort of. We can say those words. I just want to take a minute and say, be careful of very verb. It's very wrong. We can say very plus adjective. 所以如果你不可以说 very, 老师不建议你说 very, try saying really. Really is a really good word because it can be used with adjectives or verbs, no problem. So he is really fast, he's really loud, or whatever really verb you want to say.
没错，像 I really like it。好，在很多时候接动词也可以，接形容词也可以，什么都可以接。Really 比 very 的使用频率啊，还有用法上多很多。
Just be careful. I just see students say very wrong all the time. Okay, with that, let's take a break. And when we come back, we got our final paragraph for today. right, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We are on pages 44 and 45. It is September 20th, and let's begin the final paragraph. Many of the store's customers are tourists from different parts of the world.
好，这一段呢就告诉我们，刚刚前面我们是提到说，还有一些顾客，还有一些这个员工很有趣吗？上一段我们讲的员工了，这一段呢讲顾客了，他就告诉你说 ，Many of the store's customers are tourists from different parts of the world. 好，很多来到店里头这些客人呢，他们是来自世界各地的这种观光客。
All right, let's look at our next sentence here. Some visit the store to look for interesting books.And some come to find good prices on used books.
好，在这边的话，我们用到一个很常用的哦 ，some 点点 and some 就是有些人这样，有些人那样。那在这边我们看到说 ，some visit the store to look for interesting books。有些人呢跑到这个店里头来呢，是要找一些有趣的书籍。And some come to find good prices on used books. 好 ，used books 就是指二手书 （second-hand books）。那在这边的话，他们是希望能够找到二手书呢，那个价钱非常非常好的、很漂亮的价钱的，可能就是很便宜的意思啊，就是便宜又买到漂亮的二手书，那实在太棒了。每个人来意都不一样，每个人都是抱持着不同的目的来的。
So these are the people Sean will make fun of usually. So he will find people that come to his bookstore, get a big pile of books.And they will sit next to the fireplace, read lots of books, and then leave.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, they read the books, they don't buy anything. But I mean, to be fair, maybe you don't want to buy, you don't like any of the books you're looking for, maybe. But I guess there are a lot of people that do this.OK，
所以哇，所以老师刚刚提到说呢，就是有些人通常这样的一些奇妙的人呢，都会变成他书写的对象哦。比方说，有些人可能来到店里头，拿了一大堆书，就坐在这个火炉旁边呢，这个 fireplace 哈，他的壁炉旁边呢，这样暖暖的，然后看着这些书，然后最后一本都不买，那种感觉很像什么？就很像是你走到一家这个服装店。然后你试穿了几十件的衣服，然后最后觉得都不喜欢不买，然后店员就会生气这样。
I mean, to be fair, there are some times you want to try on clothes or you look at, this is not what I really want. Maybe I don't really want this. So, okay, like, yes, I do know sometimes, like, you try on a shirt, it's like, well, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
But I have to buy it because I tried it on. I understand the customer and the store owner. I do understand both.There are other people who will go into his bookstore, look at the price, use their cell phone to find a cheaper price and say, give me this cheaper price, or I will go buy from them. And he gets really angry about these people because, yeah, it's cheaper online, but online, those bookstores don't have to pay for the building. They don't have to pay for the workers. It's a lot cheaper online because they don't have to pay for as much. And...I think Sean wants everyone to know that if you want bookstores and you want this beautiful, comfortable environment, the books will be a little bit more expensive. Do you really want this? And do you want to pay for it?
没错，老师这边提到一个非常重要，有的人呢，他会拿着这个书，对不对？去扫他的那个条码，然后告诉你说，你看网络上这边这个比较便宜呢，如果你不卖我这个价钱，我就不买了。然后我心想说，等等，这个环境，这房租、水电都不用钱的你，很多时候可能这个老板会有很多的话想讲，他就很想要说，这些人的话，难道你享受这么舒适的环境，你却觉得这些东西都不用负担，你多付一点点钱就可以享有这么好的环境，为什么不做呢？你还要跟我要说啊，这个网络上的话没有这些管销或者甚至是那种实体店面的这种租金啊，对不对？
That's right. All right, our final sentence today. There are also people who come to the store with bags of books that they wish to sell.
好，那还有一些人怎么样呢？ There are also people who come to the store 来到店里头啊 with bags of books 好带了一大袋的书呢 that they wish to sell 他们想要卖给书店的，什么人都有啊。
All right. Well, with that, we are out of time. Tomorrow we'll be back with day 2 of this book, learning more about our author and his bookstore. We will also kind of talk about more of his strange customers. And for Enjoy English School, I am Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.